guys, welcome back to the That channel. I'm Alex, and today we will be counting down my top 10 rides at Wonderland. I'm doing this video for a few reasons. One, so I can see how my list changes before I get my first visit to the park in 2026, and after getting my last in 2026. But the main reason is that as of the day that this video is hopefully being uploaded, which is May 23rd, it is the park's 45th birthday. So to celebrate, why not go through my favorite rides there? Before we get into the actual top 10, where I'm going to quickly list off some honorable mentions. Those are Cyclone, which is a Mondial Frisbee, Country Twister, a Mondial Avalanche, and Nightmares, an aerodynamics roundup. With the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get into the actual list. Starting in at number 10, we have Sledgehammer, a Huss Jump 2. Sledgehammer is one of the craziest flats that I have ever been on. This ride is one of the many reasons why some people go to the park. For the novelty of riding the only Jump 2 ever sold. Talking about the ride, it just has a fun cycle where the ride spins, the actual ride unit spins, and your ride car spins as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. And about 2 to 3 times during the cycle, you get yanked up into the sky, which pulls a lot of good forces, and you get some pretty decent air time on the descent down. And also, a bonus is that from my experiences, the ops are always amazing. They always just like get you hyped for when you get flung up and down. It's a crazy ride. So yeah, on to number 9. At number 9, we have Dragonfire and Aero Looper. This might be the most controversial take in the whole video, but I always come off this ride with a huge smile on my face. One of the things that I will always say is that not much can beat a back row ride on Dragonfire. That's mainly because of the janky profiling, which benefits it. Where in the back, you get some insane airtime. Borderline ejector airtime on the first drop. And yeah, like, the straight track benefits the first loop where you get yanked up into it. Like, it probably would be similar if you didn't have straight track, but the straight track just helps it. Kind of like how pullouts are more sudden on drops that stay at one angle, versus they just like more smoothly transition. So yeah, that's something. Yeah, another reason why I need to ride in the back, honestly, I find it much smoother than in the front. Because I did 2 rides back to back on Dragonfire, one in the back, one in the front. And in the front, the corkscrews were rough. They're rough. It was still survivable, but they were pretty rough. But in the back, not as bad. Still a bit of a rough ride, but it's not that bad. And yeah, if there's one thing that's gonna happen, that'll always happen, it's me glazing this ride. And I glazed this ride so much that I recreated the layout in Planet Coaster 2 from memory. The video is on my channel if you want to see it. Anyways, we're gonna move on to number 8. At number 8 we have Shockwave, a Mondial top skin. This ride is chaotic. You are spinning and flipping forwards at the same time. And honestly, this ride has some of the craziest like choppers in the whole park with Alpine Fury, because it gets relatively close to the first launch. Not that close, but you could see. And you could also do it with the Wild Mouse in the park, Fly. And Trees, honestly. Have a look at the picture, and like, honestly, even in on-ride POV, and like, you could see how close it gets to the Fly. Not like dangerous, but like, it just looks pretty close. Yeah, and yeah, pretty close to the Fly and Trees. But honestly, the best part of this ride is the proximity of it to other rides. Like, you have Alpine Fury literally next to it. Alpine Fury and Bat, 2 rides that draw a long line. Can't say if one of them is good or not because I haven't ridden it since 2019, but you know. And you don't have that much of a walk to Leviathan. Actually, when I first rode Leviathan, the rest of my family did Shockwave. I didn't want to do Shockwave for some reason. I thought I needed a break from Leviathan, but okay. Yeah, this ride is definitely like, yeah, Mondial top skins are basically everywhere. I know Lagoon has one. It's basically the one to know. You get what I mean. There's a lot of them, but at least the Canada's Wonderland, it's near the top of the list. And yeah. So number 7, we have Vortex, an aero suspended coaster. Oh my god, I can't talk. Being completely honest, I haven't ridden this ride since 2024, so it's been a bit. But after my latest ride, I was debating whether it was better than Yukon Striker or not. I end up saying it's not, but that might change. I'll explain later. The one thing I do know is that this ride absolutely rips through its layout. Honestly, it might be a top 3 most intense coaster in the park, but I'll confirm that next week when I make my first visit this year, and hopefully get back on this. Don't know much worse to say yet. I'll be redoing this video at the end of the season, so I could yeah. And number 6, we have Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, which is a Curtis D. Summers wooden coaster. This ride has a history, and an interesting and forgotten one. If you watch any older POVs of this ride, at least before the 2024-2025 off-season retracking, you may notice an extremely drawn-out airtime hill. Well, when the ride opened, that hill was actually 2 airtime hills, and one of them was an ejector death hill, like on Zip and Pippin. If you know that one moment where you just ejector death hill, like that, but on Mighty Canadian Mindbuster. But in I believe 1996 or 1997, Paramount changed it into the drawn-out airtime hill. They combined 2 airtime hills. Never a good idea, especially on a ride that's not a giga. But yeah, I don't even know why they did that, because the bridges that are there with from the water park, they were there like before. There's actually an old video where the ride with the ejector death hill is filmed from the bridges, so I don't know why that was there. Anyway, I might be a bit biased putting this ride this high, especially above Vortex, but this was actually the ride that made me a Thuzy, not anything else. It was this ride, and this was even before the first retracking. Like 2024 Mindbuster was my number 1 on my first visit post-COVID. Yeah, I love this ride. And at least in 2026, hopefully, this ride is mostly tracked with just the return run before the helix needing to be redone. And the outward leg, even this going off last year, it provides amazing airtime. Honestly, once it is fully retracked, it could become not only the best wooden coaster in Canada, but one of the best in the world. Number 5, we have Behemoth, a Bulger and Mabillard Hyper. This ride is pretty cool and provides some good floater in the back rows, but it has one major flaw. The rattle, specifically in the valleys. I might just be an annoyed Thuzy saying this, but this ride has one of the worst rattles in the park. For more context, this was the ride that made me realize that coasters can have a rattle. Another coaster that I have ridden that is commonly noted to have a rattle is Hyperion. But when I rode it, I didn't feel even the smallest rattle. And I was in a wing seat, and it was glass, smooth. And the craziest part is I hear Hyperion's non-existent rattle being complained about more than Behemoth's rattle, which I find much worse than Hyperion's. That might have seemed very negative, but it's honestly an amazing ride, minus the rattle. But it's just not hard to complain about. But the rattle's just not hard to complain about unless B&M can fix their roughness issue. Oh my god, I can't talk. The rattle can't really be fixed at all. I don't know, I'm mainly saying this because of Dragon Con at Portaventura. Like, according to some sources, specifically California Coastin's video, where he went to Portaventura, he said that the part retracked by B&M was rougher than the original part. Honestly, if that's coming out of a 30-year-old ride, I'm honestly scared to see what would happen. I'm honestly scared to find out. I haven't ridden a new B&M. The newest one I've ridden was Yukon Striker, and that opened in 2019. So, I'm honestly kind of scared to see what's going to happen to Behemoth. Like I said, I'm not trying to be negative about a top 10 roller coaster for me, but it's just I'm concerned. Anyway, hopefully, I'm going to be less negative about number 4. Number 4 is Drop Tower, an Intamin Giant Drop. They have a lot of these. I know they have one at Six Flags Great America. Shout out Axolotl Thrills. And I don't have that much to say about this. I just love the free fall sensation that these rides produce. And yeah, it has really good airtime. And the sudden drop, it's pretty sudden. From what I remember, because I haven't ridden this ride in a bit, but the countdown you hear from the bottom, but when you're actually riding it, you don't hear the countdown at all. It's just like you're hanging there and then you just suddenly go down. Honestly, my only complaint is I just wish it was taller, but it still is amazing. Yeah. So number 3 is Yukon Striker, a B&M dive coaster. And unlike a Behemoth, this ride is actually smooth. So smooth, in fact, that according to Airtime Thrills, a few years ago at least, it was the smoothest B&M. that vertical drop in the front row, it's so good, and it pulls a pretty good free fall sensation. The Immelman and Zero G Winder following the drop are pretty good, with good hang time on the first Immelman and pretty solid flow through the Zero G Winder. And then the loop and second Immelman following the Zero G Winder are some of the most intense moments in the park. You shred through them. Like, the loop is crazy, and the second Immelman is literally the exact opposite of the first one, where the first one had, you just like, you take it as a leisurely pace, solid hang time. No, the second one you just get yanked through it. And like, yeah, the drop after the mid-course is pretty good, and yeah, you get a tiny bit of airtime on that airtime hill after, but the vest restraints suck. Like, that's the one thing keeping this from being higher. The restraints. I'm not saying lap bars, but I think over the shoulders might have been better. Anyway, yeah, on to number 2. Number 2 is Leviathan, a B&M Giga, Bollinger Maverick Giga, aka the ride that valued on Canada's Wonderland's 45th birthday, so 23rd of May this year. This ride's amazing, and fun fact, it's actually the best paced B&M Giga, better paced than Fury and Orion, and the second best paced Giga overall, after Pantherian, obviously. This ride doesn't lose speed at all, and provides amazing airtime. So the thing is, I haven't gotten a back row ride yet, but that first drop looks amazing. But I have been lucky enough to get multiple rides in the front where the wind in your face is just amazing. Yeah. And honestly, looking at pictures of the park between 2008 and 2011, before Leviathan was built, it just looks wrong. I looked at one honestly while working on this video, and it just the park looks incomplete without it. Yeah, other than the break run that's literally taller than the lift hill of Dragonfire, this ride's awesome. It could use an extra helix though, but it probably would have valued like it did today. And yeah, number 1, no surprise, we have Alpenfjord, a premier ride, Skyrocket. This ride is beyond amazing, period. Let me just say, I had high expectations, and it exceeded those expectations. This ride doesn't have a single dead spot at all, and like the other rides mentioned, it rips through the layout. My personal favorite element is a double inverting stall type element, where, if you don't know what that is, Untamed has one. It's kind of like you do a step up underflip, so a 270 degree 0G roll. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then you do a barrel roll down drop. But, so it's like yank back. You yank, so you do like a roll one way and then a roll downwards the other way. It's honestly so good because you just get like, it's just sudden. I like it. And then, yeah, the ride throws you in literally every direction possible. Forwards, backwards, up right, up left. It's crazy. It's a perfect ride, and my second favorite roller coaster. But to be fair, I've only ridden 28. I don't even have 30. But yeah, that second launch is extremely punchy. Like, I hit my head on that launch. But to be fair, that's honestly my fault. The last launch coaster, the only major launch coaster I've actually ridden was Abyssus, and that second launch is not the greatest. Like, you get speed, but it's like it's very sudden. Yeah. This ride's amazing. Whenever there's a ride where you can rank all the elements and struggle deciding which one's better than the other, that's how you know this ride's good. Yeah, this ride's amazing, and the best ride I can is Wonderland. So yeah, that's my list of my top 10 favorite rides at Canada's Wonderland. Let me know if you disagree or if you just straight up hate Dragonfire. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 550 subs, and soon I'll figure out what I'll do at 750. I have a few ideas on what I want to do, but we'll see. Yeah. Bye.